What is going on, everybody, man? King Recon here, and we're gonna read some Kingdom. Today is a really fun day, man. Continuing the week of tens with the awesome sauce. They finally fixed World War II. It feels like when Condrey and Schofield left, World War II is now a blessing, man. Call of Duty World War II works. It works. I had to go back to Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 2 for a little bit, guys. I really did. But now World War II's working, and actually, it's pretty good right now, man. This new event, the new guy they have on top knows what he's doing. So I'm going to be on that heavy tonight, man. But regardless, let's get right into this. Chapter 551, Messenger's Report. Chapter 551 has a special place in my heart in terms of Gintama. I always bring this up when it comes to the 500s, but the 500s in Gintama is just so good that every time I think of back to the 500s, I always think back to either Gintama or One Piece. I remember One Piece chapter 550 was insane. But regardless, guys, let's get right into the chapter. Chapter 551 of Kingdom, man. I read the chapter yesterday. So after yesterday's absolute awesome sauce, I'm looking forward to seeing what we're going to have here today. Far away to the southwest of those battle-ravaged grounds, at the royal capital of the state of Qin, the city of Kanyo. Chapter 551, Messenger's Report. Yo, we're going to see look at my boy, Say, dude. Everybody sleep, man. Can you blame them? They're up day and night making sure that everything goes well. And he just, they're slump. They are slump, man. He's here, sire. Your Majesty, the second messenger has finally arrived at long last. He certainly took his time. How many days has it been since the first messenger? Why hasn't General Osen been sending us regular updates? Apologies, my lords. Zhao has sealed off Retsui, the entrance to Inner Zhao. Instead, we had to sneak our way through the mountains, which were packed with patrols. Many of my fellow messengers were captured by them, and I fear that none of them still draw breath. And hear the coughs. Enough with the excuses. Hurry up and give you your report before you collapse on the spot. First, if I may ask, what news did the last messenger bring you? That was a good number of days ago. The last we heard, the combined army had split into 3 parts, and had surrounded Gyo with the intention to starve it out. After that, we haven't heard a single peep. I see. Then, as you know, we split into 3 armies with Kanki's charged with Gyo, while the Yotanwa and Heki combined army enraged Ryoyo in battle. Lastly, the Osen army made for the Shukai Plains to face the Riboku army. General Osen is up against Riboku? Dear gods. They're shook. They're like, well, that's a clash of hockey, man. They're shook. Stop fussing. Shohei-kun predicted that much, at least. Is that so? Did you come from the Osen army, then? Yes, sir. I was attached to General Osen's center army up until the 3rd day after the battle at Shukai Plains began. So I'm afraid I only know the situation up until that point. Only until the 3rd day? No, any information is better than nothing at this point. So how fares the battle? About that. The Zhao may outnumber us, but the situation is still roughly even. Thanks to the tremendous efforts of the left and right wings, both Zhao and our center armies remain uncommitted. So far, it could be said that we're proving to be an equal match against the Riboku army. Going toe-to-toe against that Riboku? And evenly matched despite lower numbers? Of special note are the Gakuka unit, who saved the left wing from what would have been a fatal loss on the first day. That's a factual statement. As well as the Gyokuho unit on the right, and the Haishin unit, who clashed with a formidable enemy of 10,000 on the 3rd day. The bravery and courage they showed in their fighting was an outstanding contribution to the battle. You know, it's gonna make Sei happy. Look at him, Shin. Well, is this fate? It would seem that the 3 young men summoned by my lord are all making waves out there on the battlefront. Shobun-kun, I understand this is a very complicated scenario, but is the fact that we're an even match for the Riboku army really something to be celebrating right now? That is something that we cannot answer here in Kanyo. After all, we don't have any information on how long Gyo's food stores can hold out for. If Gyo runs out of food before the Yosen army, then it is definitely good news. But if our men are the ones to begin starving first, then it will be as if a noose were thrown around their necks, slowly being tightened by Riboku with each passing day. Hang on. You're telling me that despite having no idea whose food will run out first, Osen of all people still chose to make such a huge gamble? Yo, I'm telling you, bro, Osen does not play, son. Osen doesn't play. I gotta read that one more time. You're telling me that despite having no idea whose food will run out first, Osen of all people chose to make such a huge gamble. Osen He knew what he was getting himself into, man. He understood that if he didn't make this gamble, they would lose. That without question he would lose. So he had to make a gamble of that magnitude in order to stay on equal footing or, attempt to achieve victory against that of Riboku. So Osa knows what he's doing, man. Indeed, that right there is the issue. Back when we first received word of him laying siege to Gyo, that one aspect stood out to me more than anything else. Is Osen really a man who would take a gamble with such high stakes? He has to do what needs to be done in order to assure victory. Osen goes to whatever lengths he needs to go to in order to assure that he has a victory, man. And if he saw that gamble was something that he needed to assure victory, he's going to do it. He's going to do it, man, and that's all there's to it. At any rate, there's no point agonizing over something we don't know. What we need to figure out now is how many more days worth of food our men still have. Well, messenger, have you the answer? Due to all the twists and turns the armies took after crossing Retsubi, even we have lost track of your food stores. I'm sorry, I got Call of Duty back in the background, my bad. I do, sir. However, considering the high risk of us messengers being captured by the enemy, we were not privy to the exact numbers. That being said, a rough estimate was made and shared with me right before the army split into 3 parts. The supplies were divided in a way to sustain all 3 armies for an equal number of days. I believe it was meant to last them 13 days after battle first began. 13 days? Put another way, as I was still with the soldiers up until the 3rd day of fighting. At the time of my departure, they should have had enough food left to last them another 10 days. And that's exactly what Riboku was talking about back in at the end of last chapter. 10? Hold on a minute. You said that they had 10 days worth then when you left them, correct? Then how many days did it take you to reach us here in Kanyo since then? So we're on what? So this is in the future? Wait. 5 days. Then does that mean the Ocean Army only has 5 days of food left right now? Yes, sir. 5 days. In just 5 more days, they'll starve. Which means in the next 5 days, they'll have to somehow defeat Riboku. Shohei-kun, do not let your fear overcome you now. We committed to this knowing that this could very well be the most difficult battle we will ever face. This is exactly why we picked out the best of the best and sent them only after preparing and equipping them to the utmost of our ability. All we can do now is to believe in the men on the field. Yo, my boy Sei is out here cutting a promo, man. Sire, your majesty, you have done us a great service in bringing us this news. Have your wounds seen to and rest. Thank you, sire. But there is still one last thing I must tell you. I met a dying messenger from the Heki army while traveling here. The Heki army? A messenger from Heki? And the information he bade me to pass on was that it has all been burnt down. The Heki army's food stores were burnt to cinders. Yeah, that was some crazy stuff, man. That was a massive L. By the enemy in Heki, and Yotanwa's armies would run out of food days earlier than the rest. What did you say? Ryoyo, the 8th day. Are we going back to... We're going back to Yotanwa, the squad, the mountain tribe. Since battle was first met, we know you sorry bastards had all your food burnt to ashes. What's the matter? Didn't eat breakfast? So weak, just die already. And just going ham. But look at Heki, man. You know that he must... You know whenever you take an L, but you're not alone, when you take an L for like the team and you're like shouldering that weight on your shoulders. Just imagine like, tenfold. Whenever you have the weight of all of your fellow comrades and all your fellow soldiers all gone because of something that you did, you're gonna feel that, man. You're gonna feel that weighing heavily upon you. How can you not? You know, at least if you're a responsible individual, or at least if you're a person, not even responsible, but at least if you have that characteristic of it. I'm pretty sure there's some people out there who wouldn't care, but if you have that characteristic, like how could you not care? Like how could you not feel that the whole world is just falling on you because you made such a mistake, you know? General, the 2nd have been routed. We've lost sight of the 3rd, too. The 4th are requesting you to give the order to fall back. So that means 5 days have passed from that night with Kyokai and Shin up until this point. Which I guess it sort of makes sense because they needed time to recover themselves. But man, we're going all the way to them here in the 8th day? This is all we can spare for you today. And it's a lot less than yesterday. And this is the 8th day at night, right? Because everything is dark. It's a lot less than yesterday, but we've no choice but to start cutting it down. Forgive us, General. Not at all. We are grateful just to have something to fill our stomachs. Even if we were to receive only half of your own share, we would have nothing but the utmost gratitude. Half? Brother, did this man think he was receiving half of our own portion? What does he mean by that? Half of our share of my ass. We're the ones stuck eating only half of whatever we can spare you each day. Everyone's been forced to forage for food in the mountains after fighting each day, and they're still starving. Yo, man. Stop that, Kitai. Heki-sama, what are you doing, girl? Oh, you useless plainslanders want to fight? That's enough, Kitari. If we get done eating like normal, we'd have run out of food ages ago. I hope you understand. Yo, man. So that means that they've been scrounging for food in the mountains. But if anybody could do it, the mountain tribe can, man. Brother. Yeah. What's that shouting? There's fighting somewhere. Enemy attack. No, it's just infighting amongst the tribes. Amongst the tribes? It started around yesterday night. Some are fighting to steal other tribes' horses to butcher for food. Everyone treasures their own mounts, obviously. Take a good hard look, you idiots from the plains. Look at that, man. They're fighting each other, bro. This is what it means to hunger. This is what it means to truly be at the limit of hunger, man. Where you really need to eat something. Where you start fighting your own brethren for food, man. As the hunger sets in more and more, we won't even be in any shape to put up a fight against our enemies. Here comes the mediator. Is it Tanwa? Tanwa! We're now Lord of Death. Lord of Death. At this rate, the entire army will collapse in 3 days. Something must be done and fast. I know that. And after all, it's not like our food stores will last another 3 days anyway. What? Baggio! Summon all the tribe chieftains! I'll be sharing our upcoming battle plan, one that will decide whether we win or lose, live or die. Yo, Yotanwa's gonna go in, man. Listen, bro. Whenever you have in Yotanwa's position, everyone's already fighting each other. They need to win in order to survive, because they need to go back in order to get some food. So they have to finish up the battles with Rihiro. So that means that this battle has to end. This battle has to end right after Yotanwa says this. On the following day, on the 9th day, unless it's the 7th day going into 8th day. But if I'm not mistaken, this is 8th day going into 9th day. If it's 8th going into 9th, on the 9th day, Yotanwa will catch a dub. The mountain tribe will catch a dub. Baggio and the boys will go in like swimwear. And Yotanwa will go up right against the chief. They're going to have a clash of hockey. And Yotanwa is going to show him the business. He's going to truly have a bloodbath out there, man. And I'm hyped. Man, because this is, aside from the Haishin unit stuff, this is the one thing that I've been wanting to see. I could not wait to get more stuff on the Mountain Tribe. And it looks like we're going to stick on this now, because we went from seeing what's going on with Osen and Riboku to going back to Moten and Ohun, then the Haishin unit, and now we're sticking here 5 days later with the Mountain Tribe. I cannot wait for these next couple chapters, man. Y'all know how I feel about Yotanwa. Y'all know how I feel about Yotanwa, man. And the Mountain Tribe just in general, dude. Man, next week's chapter cannot come soon enough, man. I'm looking forward to it, because, well, I don't think there's gonna be any real battle up until probably the last 2 pages of next week's chapter, but I still want to see what plan she has in mind, unless Hara decides to hide the plan. Like, you know how sometimes mangaka use that technique to where you end a chapter saying, I'll be sharing our upcoming battle plan, one that will decide whether we win or lose, live or die, and then it goes right into the battle, and then in the middle of the battle is whenever this plan gets revealed to us. You know what I mean? So it could do one of those two things. But I do think that, just based off of the way this chapter ended, that next week we will get an explanation of what this plan is. Unless the plan is just one word. And the plan is to kill them all. Just to go in and swimwear. There is no real plan. You just gotta survive. Can you imagine Yotanwa saying that as a general? If you want to eat tomorrow, win! If y'all want to eat that badly, kill them! Take them out! Take their food. Get their morale up, man. And if they're fighting each other, use that same energy in order to take out the opponents. But the thing is that they're full, man. But the thing is, hungered and ready for primed, at your limit, trying to survive. I don't care how weak you are, man. You will find some way to live and to take out your opponents, even if they are full, even if they have an ounce of hunger. You will find a way to get some food, man. That is just the way that we as living beings are. So this could actually end up working in our favor. It could actually turn out by the end of this entire battle, that because they were so hungry, and Yotanwa used that as a morale boost, or they themselves use it as a morale boost, that Heki having that entire thing burned down could very well be the one thing that led them to victory, because they were so hungry, and they legit were at their breaking point to where they started surpassing their own limits because they just wanted to eat, they just wanted to survive. And when you get to that point, man, you start doing stuff that you never knew that you could even do. So it could very well end up being that because of that, they'll end up winning. Legit. That's the way that it could be. So I'm looking forward to seeing this next couple chapters. I love the Mountain Tribes, so I'm gonna really be enjoying these next couple chapters, and I cannot wait to see what kind of battle plans she's gonna lay out to them. Like, is this gonna be like a one word? Are we gonna find out later on in the battle, or she's gonna actually lay out like a battle plan and what they plan on doing whenever they get in there tomorrow, because they have to win tomorrow. They have to win tomorrow. You know? So, but with that being said, if there's 5 days left, do you think we'll have a day for each? Like, will we have a day dedicated to each one of like the main points? So, like, for example, if we go back to the 5 main points that we've been having in this arc, we have 1 day to Yotanwa. We have a day for each 3 of the young leaders. So, like, 1 to Moten, 1 to Ohan, 1 to Shin, and then 1 to Osen. But where does Kanki go into all this? Does Kanki go into combine with Osen, like in the last day? Because the last day, I'm pretty sure, is going to be extremely hectic. If they included that the food is supposed to run out in 5 days, that means it's going to act like as a timer. It's going to act like one of those if you guys read One Piece, Oda really loves using the timer thing at the end of every arc, like in Alabasta, and in his lobby with the Buster Call, and Dressrosa with the Birdcage, like that type of stuff. But here it's with food, so that indicates to me that it's going to be up until the very last moment before they get out of there, before they survive. So that means everything's going to go down into the very last day, and on that last day is when everything is going to be resolved into an eventual, what I'm going to assume is a Chin victory, is a Chin victory. But does that mean that with specifically 5 days left, is that what Hara wants to do? Dedicate 1 day to each of the main things? But what about Kanki? I mean, we haven't seen anything from Gyo, aside from last week. But this was really a surprising change of pace. I did not expect us to dive in directly 5 days into the future. But the way that he transitioned was incredible. That was an incredible transition from a writing standpoint. Because you start off the chapter and you're like, oh snap, okay, so he's about to talk about what happened here in the last couple of things. But then you get the massive revelation that he was last back there, a couple days ago. He was last back there 5 days ago. So the last thing that he found out from there was that the High Shinran took a dub, which is the same thing that we saw as viewers. So he's basically relaying a message as to what we just saw as viewers, and he's relaying to them that we have no idea what took place in the other 5 days. That's the only thing I can report. And now we're going back to Yotanwa. So we don't even know what went down with Shin and them. With Shin, Moten, Ohan, and everything going down over there with the Osen Center Army, or with what's going down with Kanki. All we know right now is that 5 days later, Tanwa's about to go ham. And that's a shoot. That's a shoot, man. So really interesting developments in this week's chapter. Shout out to Elsei for always delivering an awesome promo. But I cannot wait for Yotanwa to go in, man. Yotanwa is gonna go in. Baguio is gonna go in. Mountain Tribe is gonna they're gonna deliver some dubs, man. I really can't wait. It's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be probably the hardest we've seen them fight. But it's gonna be hype, man. It's gonna be hype. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be a battle of savagery, and I can't wait for it, man. I'll see y'all next time. Let me know what y'all thought about this week's chapter of and I will see y'all next week for chapter 552 and what is going to be, or what I'm going to assume is a little mini arc dedicated, or a little mini portion, the same way that we've been getting the past couple chapters, dedicated to specific characters, now dedicated to the Mountain Tribe. I can't wait, man. I'll see y'all next time.